What's going on, my dudes? ChensLeo11 here, and welcome back to another episode in the A to Z series, where we are going through every single champion in League of Legends and giving you a basic or beginner's guide on each of them. In today's episode, we're going to be showing you how to play Mordekaiser top for beginners. So it will be a Mordekaiser guide. We're going to be going through his build, his runes, and most importantly, all of his abilities. So you guys out there who want to try out the beast himself know what's going on. And before we get into that, if you are new to the series, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. I get a lot of comments and that, and I really appreciate it. I reply to all of them, so thank you guys so much for all the support. And I'm glad I'm being able to help some newer players, and I'm getting a lot of positive messages. So if you are new and you do enjoy these videos, hit that like button. It helps out a lot. So Mordekaiser for beginners. For me, Mordekaiser is fantastic for beginners. He's not very hard to play. He's quite strong, and he feels powerful. He feels strong. I love top laners that feel powerful and feel like they can dominate the lane. And also the mid game. He's very good mid. He's okay early. He's okay late, but he's very good mid game. So mid game is like when a couple items and you can start pushing out side waves and getting objectives. He's pretty good like really early, like level 1 because of or level 2, level 3 because of his W. And we'll go through all this in a moment. But for me, you know, he's pretty good in the lane. He's also great because he does AP damage. He does ability power damage, or magic damage, rather. So he's good for shoring up team comps where they don't have a mage mid. And this is a perfect example. We have a Yasuo mid this game, so we don't have an AP threat coming out of the mid lane. So at least Mordekaiser being a bruisey top laner, he can provide some magic damage. That way, the enemy team can't just build full armor and counter your team comp. So Xin Zhao obviously coming in for the level 2 cheese on the Camille. We get a flash, which is very important. If you can't get a kill early, guys, on an early gank like that, taking the opponent's flash is actually really good, because you can set up a gank straight away pretty much, and they can't escape. And then I have flash, so we can win that. We can get the kill. And you can see what I'm doing here. Just a little bit of a tip. I'm not pushing the wave very hard. I'm letting my minions die. That way Camille's going to be pushed up. So if the Xin Zhao decides to come back around for this return gank, which he most likely will because we got the flash and he's very strong early, she'll be out of position and can't escape. She does have hook shot, if you've seen my Camille video. But after that, it's lights out for her. We can catch up to her. So basically, Mordekaiser, his thing is he's very strong if he can get on top of you, which is pretty much like all melee champions. And once he does get on top of you, it's absolutely game over. Like, look at this, because you can chase with your passive, and we'll go through that in a moment, with that big ring around, and just do a lot of damage and absolutely clean up enemies. So in the early game, just try your best to farm up as best as you can. It's not too hard to farm up Mordekaiser because of his Q. It's a big slam, and it makes it easier to just absolutely one-shot minions, especially if you hit him isolated, where it does bonus damage. But yeah. So Camille goes in again with the hook shot. So we just got to keep aware of her cooldowns. Once she uses the hook shot, remember she has no escape. So if we can get on top of her, it's all over. So you can see here, I'm just trying to clear waves, but I see the Xin Zhao coming. So we're going to go put pressure, and then here we go. So we get the nice. So now she's tried to hook shot. It's all over. She can't actually escape. Now we'll probably finish off with an auto attack or a Q if I can. There is the auto attack. Unfortunately, the Xin Zhao flashed to get the kill, but we yoinked it. So thank you very much. Alright guys, let's go through Mordekaiser's runes first up. So Mordekaiser's runes are very simple. Conqueror is what you want to take. Conqueror is fantastic on Mordekaiser. He's an AP bruiser who loves to auto attack, get in close, and do a lot of damage. So Conqueror will allow you to get in close, get that stacking up, and give you healing. And also adaptive force, extra damage. Because you are extended fights, you do a lot of auto attacking. Next you want to go Triumph. Takedowns give you some missing health. Legend Alacrity, you get extra tenacity. Again, Mr. Cannon, very good on. There's the thumbs up. That's for you guys watching in the comment section. It's a little nod to you guys who comment on all the cannons I miss, which is pretty much all of them. So Legend Tenacity gives you a bit of tenacity. So you take less CC. The time you take when you're CC'd is less. Last Stand. And then you want to go Resolve. Second, you go Bone Plating and Revitalize. Then you want to go Attack Speed for the offense. Adaptive Force and Armor. Now, the Armor, you can choose Magic Resist if they have like an AP jungler and top laner. If not, probably just stick to Armor. It's probably the best bet. So that's the runes. Very, very straightforward. If you have any questions about the runes, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to explain why they're very good. But if you're just starting out, paste these runes and you should be fine. So we can see Lilia coming in for a gank. And that's why it's always important to drop that ward whenever you get a bit of time. You can see here we absolutely destroy the Lilia. And my jungler's coming in. And I think we can win this 2v2 despite me being low health. So we pop our W to get a shield. We should be popping our potion. We did flash to try and get out, but unfortunately no good. Pretty sure the Zinjar's going to be able to clean up. So we get 2 assists, 2 for 1. It's a good trade for us. We end up getting a kill's worth of gold with the 2 assists. So pretty good. And we get our Leeching Seer, which is a great early item. So let's go through the level up order. So what abilities you should take first. Which ones you should max first. So for Mordekaiser, you want to take Q level 1, which is the big slam. It's very, very effective early. It's got to help with clearing. It's also your main source of poke. Level 2, you want to take E, which is the CC ability. It also gives you passive magic pen. We'll go through all the abilities in a lot more detail in a moment. So W is the third, which gives you the shield and the healing. Again, we'll go through at the moment. Then you want to max your Q, max your E second, and then max your W last. And then, of course, take a point in your ultimate at level 6, 11, and 16 whenever you can. So Camille's going in for the hook shot, and my jungler decides to come and yeet the 80 gold from the tower, which is fine. We did take that early kill. Well, this is good. It's a nice early, strong, dominant lane for us. We're trying to bully the Camille because we have a lead. And now we hit level 6 before her. Oh, no, she was level 6. That's because the jungler's been in my lane the whole game. But we are ahead, and that's great. So we're just trying to CS here and maybe put some pressure on her under the tower. Normally, when you're this far ahead, or if you get ahead, you can try not pushing the wave as hard. That way, it'll push out to you and be on your side of the map so the jungler can gank easy. It depends how you're feeling. If you feel like you can dive them, then you can push it out or get like tower plates. It's up to you what your strategy is. All right, so that's the level up order. Now let's quickly run through the build. So the build, I will always, at the start of before I do the build, I'll quickly mention the summoner spells. For me, very simple, flash and teleport. There's no other choice really. You can take ignite if you like, but I just think teleport is way too good. Especially when you play top lane, especially when you play champions that have strong mid-game, so you want to be able to teleport to fights and split push. So for me, flash, teleport, very, very good. So you want to start off with a Doran's shield. This will help with any of the poke matchups. It's also very, very strong. You want to start with the potion as always. You can see here we're trying to poke the Camille, but she's managing to do quite well and do a bit of poke to us, and we're taking tower shots, so not the best. So early, you want to pick up a Leeching Seer and Boots, which is exactly what we've done in this video, which is fantastic. Pad on my own back, Vince. So you get 20 ability power and you get some health and some life Omnivamp on the Leeching Seer. Then you want to build that into Riftmaker, which again will give you bonus Omnivamp as a mythic passive. Plus it'll give you like your percent bonus damage, which is the Riftmaker passive. Plus it gives you flat Omnivamp, ability power, ability haste, and health, which is exactly everything that Mordekaiser wants. So fantastic item on Mordekaiser. You can also try, I think Proto Belt I've seen being used to close the gap, but I really like Riftmaker if you can get on top of them. Plated steel caps as your boots. Again, you can go Merc Treads if it's a heavy AP comp or they have a lot of CC. In this game, definitely steel caps. All they have is really the Lilia. They don't really have too much hard CC, so steel caps is great against Camille and also great against the enemy team comp. Third item, or second biggest item, sorry, second main item is your Rylai's Crystal Scepter. This is the slow, so any ability is slow, which is fantastic on Mordekaiser. If you can get, because basically if you can close the gap on Mordekaiser, you win the game. So you can see here a nice showcase of the ultimate and Camille's ultimate, which is kind of similar almost. And we can just go up to her and absolutely roll her. Do we get her with a Q? Yes, we do. Slap her on the bum with that Q. Then you want to go Demonic Embrace. Again, fantastic item on Bruiser Mages. Then you want to go Zhonya's Hourglass for a bit of safety. And then Thornmail if you find that there's a lot of healing on the enemy team. You can also go Spirit Visage or Spirit Visage, however you say it. Morellonomicon if they have a lot of, again, healing. But you don't feel like you need the tankiness. So there are some options. I'll leave them all on the screen. But that's the build, guys. Very, very straightforward and quite simple. So now we're going to go through Mordekaiser's abilities in a lot of detail. You can see here what I'm doing just there. If you're not sure what I was doing with the minions, is I'm kind of pulling them into the bush, and that will just hold the wave where it is here. And I'm just trying to last hit. And I do miss that one, which is quite embarrassing, but it is what it is. So we can see how we're locking the wave here. So the Camille, if she tries to come up, she has to come up all the way to this wave to get CS, and then that's going to be mental pressure on her because she knows that now she's way behind. And we're still missing CS, guys. This sucks. All right. If you want to get really good at this game, you've got to practice CSing. Unfortunately, I'm not there yet. Look at that. All right. Let's go through the passive, Mordekaiser's passive, which is called Darkness Rise. So, Mordekaiser's basic attacks deal 40% bonus magic damage on hit. So, basically, every time you auto-attack, you can see there's a blue number that comes on top of the orange number. The orange number is your physical damage you're dealing, which is based on your AD. But then Mordekaiser's passive is he does on-hit magic damage, that 11 that comes up. So he has a second passive, which is Mordekaiser generates a stack for each enemy champion or monster hit by a basic attack and basic abilities, which is your Q and your E, basically, because your W can't actually hit anything. And that stacks up to 3 times, and it lasts 4 seconds. So at 3 stacks, Mordekaiser gains Darkness Rise, which is what you've seen, that whirlwind effect around him. So Darkness Rise, Mordekaiser gains bonus movement speed and creates an aura around him that deals magic damage, which is based on your AP and the target's maximum health, and it does magic damage per second, and the damage per second is capped against magic monsters. So I'll show an example of that on the top left, as I do with all the abilities. So basically all this means is Mordekaiser is able to activate like an AoE effect around him after he's hit a champion 3 times. So if you pull someone in with your E, and then you auto-attack Q, that'll proc it. Now, once you have your Rise, they're also slow, so you can actually stick with them, with the bonus movement speed the Rise gives you, plus the slow, and you can absolutely shred their health. And remember, it does bonus damage to targets max health. So if they have a lot of health, you can shred their health quite quickly. So it's a fantastic passive, and it's really, really underrated and makes Mordekaiser fantastic. One other thing I will say about the passive is it also procs on monsters. So that's any jungle camp. So it means Mordekaiser could probably jungle pretty well as well. So if you want to try him in the jungle, go for it. I prefer him top because I just love top lane. So that's the passive, guys. Let's go through the Q, which is called Obliterate. Very, very simple ability. Again, I'll show it in the top left. Mordekaiser smashes an area in a target direction, dealing magic damage to the whole strip. Okay, so he hits the ground with his mace, and anywhere... You can see I'll use it in a moment here. There it is there. So anyone within that zone gets hit with the Q. Now what's important is the damage is increased if only one enemy is hit. Okay, remember this is your first max, so you're going to get it to level 5 quite quickly. So that damage increase when it's fully maxed is 60%. So not only are you hitting them for the full amount of damage, you're doing an extra 60% on top. So you need to be aware of this and make sure you're trying to hit enemies isolated. Most critically, this is like what you got to pay attention to is when you're in lane. If you're trying to poke the enemy, you want to try and make sure you're just clipping them and not hitting minions. It's hard to explain what I'm talking about, but if they're just next to the minion wave, you want to make sure you're not hitting everything and them. You want to try and just clip them and nothing else. That way they take extra damage, unless you also want to hit the wave as well to push it. Again, same with minions. If there's a cannon and you want to make sure you get it, hit them with just the Q and it'll do bonus damage and you'll one-shot it. So see here, so far we're doing quite well. And the Lilia's coming in for a gank. And at this point, I'm pretty confident I could 2v1. But I'm going to extend the fight out. Look how much damage that Q did. We flash on top. We get the Lilia Q. All 3 of us flash. The Xin Zhao goes onto the Lilia and shoves his spear up her tail. And gets absolutely destroyed. So, again, Camille's got no chance here. She's got to get dove, especially when the tower's this low. Let's see if I can pull it off. We do have 2 levels on her, but what I'm probably going to do is just focus on the tower. She's wasted a hook shot as well. So there's the combo there. So you pull them in and then smack them with your Q. So what's the pull? We'll go through that in a moment. Next, we're going to go through the W, which is Indestructible. So it's not complicated, but you just might not understand what it does. It's not intuitive what's going on. So it involves that second bar underneath Mordekaiser's health, that white bar. And basically, this is how it works. So Mordekaiser stores 45% of post-mitigated damage he deals and 15 pre-mitigated damage he takes. So any damage he deals after armor magic resist builds up that shield underneath his health. And all the damage he takes before magic resist and armor's calculated builds up that shield underneath him. So once that shield is built up, or it's not, it just builds higher and higher. Once it goes to its highest amount, that's its cap. And you can see here when I'm not hitting or taking damage, it's starting to decay. So basically what happens is once you activate your W, you convert that secondary bar into a big shield. Okay? Now that shield is, obviously shields just give you extra health and they decay over time. Now for this particular ability, the shield will decay exponentially. So the longer you have it up, the quicker it'll start to decay. So you want to kind of use it when you're in a fight or when you're about to take a big burst of damage. So the shield will never decay below 5% of your maximum health, which is something small to just keep in mind. So when you activate it, you gain the shield for 4 seconds. And then what's interesting about this ability, which makes it a little bit, not confusing, but just a little bit more complicated, is that you can recast the W to consume the remaining shield and heal Mordekaiser for a percentage of the shield. So it goes up to, normally it's 35% because it's going to be level 1 for a long while. I remember spamming R in this situation, trying to get to the Yone to spam R so he locks him in place so we can kill him. But unfortunately, we couldn't quite get him. But yeah, you can recast the W while your shield is up. So you push W to make the shield appear, and then you can recast it after 0.5 seconds if you like to heal that amount, 35% of that shield amount. So there is a good amount of healing in Mordekaiser's kit. So if you are coming up against him, it might be worth getting a healing cut because he does have a lot of Omnivamp. He obviously builds Conqueror and his W. Okay, you see the Lilia comes in to try and stop the dragon, but unfortunately, as soon as we see her, we go for her. Now, I think she gets out here. Lilia is extremely fast, so what I should have done is kited towards the way she was going to escape. We didn't kill her, which sucks for the 400 gold. Fortunately, the Yasuo gets her, but he had to burn flash. But even if she got away, we would have probably secured the dragon, so it was worth, in my opinion. So that's basically the W, guys. It's very, very simple. You cast it, you get a shield, and then you can recast it to get a heal. Now let's go through the E, which is called Death's Grasp. So this has a passive and an active component. Now the passive is quite simple. Mordekaiser gains magic penetration. So depending on what level this ability is, Mordekaiser gains just bonus magic pen. So magic penetration, if you don't know, it just means you deal extra damage through their magic resist. So it's a percentage in this case. So if they have 100 magic resist, you're going to be penetrating through 15% of that at max rank. Whereas something like, I can't remember the item. There's an item that gives you flat magic pen, which is just like a number. It just says you penetrate through 10 of their magic resist. So percentages work better the more they have, if that makes sense. But essentially, Mordekaiser just gains a mini Void Staff when you level up your E, which is a insane stat. So this is the reason why you want to max this second, simply because of the pen you get. The damage you're doing with the pool is not actually that important. The CCing aspect is actually fantastic, but the main reason you level it up second is for that you're increasing your magic penetration. So that's the passive component. Now let's go through the active component. You would have seen me use it a few times. I'll put it up in the top left. Mordekaiser summons a claw in a target direction that grants sight of the area, which is something you might not know. It grants vision. And after 0.5 seconds, it deals magic damage and pulls enemies towards Mordekaiser. Now, this ability is fantastic in the combo. And you can see here, this is what I mean when it's in the jungle. When you hit camps, it generates your passive, that aura around you. You can see here, we could just walk up and just ult the Camille. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that, yeah. She uses her flash early, so she literally can't escape. She uses her ultimate, so she's going to try and escape the backside. I think she gets out. Let's see. Bang. If that was an isolated Q, we might have been able to kill her. I played that a little bit wrong. But she did burn her flash and her ultimate, so it's not too bad. So yeah, basically with the pull, you want to pull enemies towards you and then Q as they're coming in, because they can't dodge while they're being CC'd. So that's the combo, basically. You pull and then Q. If they're really slow, you can also weave in an auto attack to get your passive proccing. There's also, and I would have put it in the example, so go back and have a second look if you missed it. There's an example of how you can kind of reposition the E so that it actually pulls them away from you, so it's a good way to disengage. It's hard to do without the quick cast on. If you want to do casting with indicators, like when you first start League of Legends, if you don't change your setting, when you cast a bit, you've got to click to use it, which is terrible in my opinion. You should change it to quick cast, which is how I play, where you just push the button and the ability goes off. But with the E, it is quite tricky to use in that situation. I don't think I actually used it in this game, but there is a way to use your E backwards and pull enemies away from you if you want to get away from someone. So last but not least, we're going to go through one of my favourite ultimates in the game, which is called Realm of Death. So Mordekaiser, so this is basically the 1v1, right? It's a fantastic ultimate. It's great for just destroying a particular target. It's also good for if there's like a fight or a smite contest around a dragon or baron, you can ultimate the jungler, and then they can't smite because you've isolated them away from the map, and then your jungler can smite. So keep that in mind. So Mordekaiser slows the target enemy for 75% during the cast time and then banishes them to the Death Realm. So once they're in the Death Realm, Mordekaiser consumes the target's soul, healing himself for 10% of their maximum health, reducing their current attack speed, ability power, attack damage, maximum health, armor, and magic resist, and size, sorry, don't forget the size, by 10%. So you basically cut all their stats by 10%. So this Camille, she knows she's dead. Every single one of her stats is cut by 10%, including her size. And we gain that. Okay, in addition, you gain that for yourself. So every single stat that we take from her, we gain ourselves. So that's why Mordekaiser is extremely hard to 1v1 in that ultimate, because you gain all the stats you steal from them. Now, if the target dies within the Death Realm, Mordekaiser keeps partial stats until they respawn. Now, unfortunately, I don't know the number off the top of my head, and it's not listed in the wiki, but you do retain some of those stats. So you want to try and use this at the start of the fight. If there's going to be a long fight, kill the target you want to kill, and then you're going to have extra stats for the rest of the long team fight. So once you use it, I will use it in the top left. It's hard for me to give you an example of what it looks like when Mordekaiser is on your team, but I'll try and explain it. When Mordekaiser ults someone and he's on your team, there'll be a blue circle and they'll both disappear. So basically, anyone he ults gets teleported to this realm, and then there's nothing else in the realm. There are towers, but that's it. And like the Nexus, the fountain. So if you go into the fountain, you'll die. But essentially, there's like, if you're not in the Death Realm, what does it look like? So if the Mordekaiser's on your team, he'll be like a blue orb going around. You can kind of see them in the normal game, like the normal overworld. And the enemy will be like a red orb. It's hard to explain. It's easier to see. But it's not that important. Just be aware of where the Mordekaiser / enemy will be coming out if you want to kill the enemy, let's say. If the Mordekaiser can't quite finish them off, because you can kind of follow them around. So anyway, guys, the enemy team surrender. We've gone 5-1 and 4. It was a quite dominant game, quite a short one. We definitely would have gone on and win this game. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much all of Mordekaiser. I hope you enjoyed the video. For me, he's a fantastic champion, and I really recommend picking him up for a beginner. He's a lot of fun as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.